Let's continue our discussion on matrices. So far, what you have learned to do is add and multiply matrices. Some of these examples above. The first thing I want to show you today is how to find the determinant. The determinant is a way, it's one of the steps to finding the inverse of a matrix, which is an important step for us. So we're going to start by just doing determinants right now, and then we'll get to inverses. The determinant of a 2x2 matrix. First of all, the notation is like the square brackets of a matrix. If I take off those upper and lower little marks and put just two vertical lines, this is the notation for determinant. So that's what you'll know they're asking you for if you see just the vertical lines without the full brackets. For a 2x2, the determinant is this times this minus this times this. All right, so -2 times 5 is -10, minus -3 times -4 is 12. So our determinant should be -22 on number 17. And I've got my handy answer sheet to compare to. Number 17, -22. Right down here. So we got it. All right, so 2x2 determinants, really no big deal. If you consider your matrix to be ABCD, another way to ask for the determinant would be write DET and then just do the full brackets. It's AD minus BC. But you just need to remember diagonally, top left to bottom right, multiply those, and then subtract the other diagonal. Okay, so there's a 2x2 determinant. What about a 3x3 determinant? There are a couple ways to organize this. I'm going to show you the way that I think is the easiest. What I want to do for a 3x3 determinant is I want to take the first two columns and copy them again. 0, 1, 6. 7, -5, 6, like that. Then the determinant has a little diagonal thing and diagonal trick like the last one did. I'm going to do this times this times this plus this times this times this plus. So I've got three diagonals, multiply them all together. And then the diagonals the other way are going to get subtracted. Minus this one, and this one, and this one. So let's put all that together. 0 times -5 times 6 plus 7 times -5 times 6 plus 3 times 1 times 6. All right, my three diagonals that go upper left to bottom right, those are all positive. And I'm going to subtract the other ones. Minus 3 times -5 times 6 minus 0 times -5 times 6 minus 7 times 1 times 6. So this is nothing difficult. It's just a matter of being organized and keeping track and making sure you don't miss a negative sign somewhere and just getting all 6 of these terms correct and then adding them together. So let's do that. The first one's nice. It's 0. The next one, 5 times 6 is 30. 30 times 7 should be 210. And since one of them's negative, we get -210. 3 times 1 times 6 is 18. Next one, it's minus, but the term should be negative. So 5 times 6 is 30. 30 times 3 is 90. Overall, this is plus. Minus, minus makes plus. Plus 0 for the next one, because of the 0 just wipes it out. Minus 42. All right, so if I can get these added together, let's see. I've got -210 and -42 gives me -252 plus 90 should be -162 plus 18 think that's negative 144, if I've added correctly in my head. Let's take a quick look at the magic answer sheet. Number 21, negative 144. Beautiful, right down here. So that's a 3 by 3 determinant. Okay, so we've got 2 by 2 determinants, 3 by 3 determinants. You should be able to do both of those by hand. You can also do this all in your calculator. I'm going to do this last one in my calc to show you and get rid of those marks. But a lot of the stuff with graphing calculators is you're able to do now. It makes life simpler. So remember your matrix menu. For me, that's second x to the negative 1. I want to edit matrix A. Still want it to be 3 by 3. And I'm just going to type in 0, 7, 3, 1, negative 5 twice, and then all 6s across the bottom. Then quit out of there. We've edited A and made it what we want it to be. Now back in the matrix menu, if you want to do math, the first option is what's the determinant. So let's do determinant, go back to the matrix menu and choose the name A, and there we go. There's that negative 144. You could do that with a 2 by 2 as well, and there you go. All right, so you should be able to do both determinants by hand. I just wanted to show you that you can do this in your calculator as well. All right, so that's the first part of today's video. Next, inverse. The inverse of a matrix has a specific formula. Okay, the formula for the inverse of a matrix is up here in blue. If your matrix is A, B, C, D, then the inverse of that matrix, which is noted A to the negative 1, is 1 over the determinant times D negative B negative C A. So in the original matrix, A and D switch places, B and C just switch signs. So this is how you find a matrix. Let me make sure I'm going to give us one that has an answer. All right, looks like 27 and 28 have answers. Let's do one of those. All right, as you can tell, if your determinant happens to be 0, then your inverse is not going to exist because you would have to do 1 over 0, and that's not okay. So let's do 27. First thing is to find the determinant. The determinant for this one should be negative 12 minus negative 2, so negative 12 plus 2, or negative 10. So my inverse is going to be 1 over that times the matrix where negative 4 and 3 switch places, and negative 1 and positive 2 switch signs. See how the top left to bottom right diagonal, I switched their locations, but kept in the same sign. The other two, I just changed the signs. And now I just multiply through my 1/10 and get a 2 by 2 matrix. That's the inverse. So I get negative 3/10, negative 1/10. Negative 1/10 times negative 2 is positive 1/5, and then 2/5. So again, if I check my answer sheet, number 27, we can confirm that that's true. Here's 27, and it worked. So that's a 2 by 2 inverse. Take the determinant, multiply it by this special matrix that has switched around a little bit, and we get our inverse found by hand. You could do an inverse in your calculator. So let's go edit C. You could use any of them. Matrix C, I want to make it 2 by 2, and I'm going to make it negative 4, negative 1, 2, 3, and then quit, get out to my main screen, go into my matrix menu, go over to math, Well, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. It's not in the matrix menu. To do your inverse matrix on your calculator, just go select the matrix C, and then use the inverse button on your main screen, which is the x to the -1 over here on the left side, and do it that way. So we get -0.3, -0.1, 0.2, and 0.4, which is these values that we just found a minute ago. Okay, I can expect you to do a 3x3 determinant in your head without the graphing calculator. A 3x3 inverse, that's too much. That takes a lot of doing, and we're not even going to worry about that. So if you need to do a 3x3 inverse, then just type it into your calculator and find the inverse like we just did. For example, I typed in, let's see, A is a 3x3 from earlier. Just do A inverse, and here you go. You might have to scroll over to see all of the parts of it. But there's that. So we have determinants for 2x2 and 3x3 that you have to do by hand. We have inverses for 2x2 by hand. Inverses for 3x3, we're going to leave that to the calculator. So there is matrix day 2. Inverses and determinants. I'll see you in class. Out.